set the stage before I really start getting into the presentation. You're attending a webinar and you didn't know it. Because what I'm working on is a webinar that will go up on the web sometime in the next couple of months. This is the first cut of it, the first rough draft, and I'm mostly interested in having you listen and watch the screen as you would do in any webinar that you might attend. So, it is true. This is a conversation about retirement, and more specifically about baby boomers and how they're responding to walking across the line of turning 65, which is something I did in March. And I was, you know, it just doesn't feel any different than it did 20 years ago. But nonetheless, somehow our generation made it to 65. I'm on the cutting edge of the baby boomers, the front end. There's a group that was born a year before I was. I was born in 47. And if you were born anywhere in and around those dates, you probably, like me, never expected to see your retirement begin in the kind of climate that we are in right now. And hence, let's see, did I get it up there? No. This is also my first time using, there we go. Does that work? No. Somebody needs to help me.
Alex, if you just click the start slideshow, the presentation mode, it'll jump over them.
There?
F5.
That's oh.
Yes, there you go.
Hey, all right, thank you. Hopefully this will not happen during the webinar, but I've seen worse things going on webinars when people lose their connection and their slides don't work and their guest doesn't show up. So what I want to tell you, what the emotion is for me at 65, for my husband at 65, and probably those of you in this room who are at least 50 or older, is this just wasn't how it was supposed to be when we got to 65. Most of us grew up feeling very secure in our country, feeling very proud, knowing exactly, you know, if we kept contributing to the 401k, we kept watching it grow. We expected a lot of things that aren't happening for us now. It started with September 11th. It was something I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I don't think anybody of any age ever imagined that we would be attacked in that way. And of course, what followed were financial challenges. I call them meltdowns here because in some cases, people lost more than 50% of their net worth. And when you are 64 and you're looking at no more full-time income in a short time, that's not good news. In fact, the net worth, this is a national average, but the net worth of most people in the country was cut by 47% throughout the last few years, especially with the stubborn, unrelenting unemployment that just keeps sticking up there over 8%. And so for the baby boomers, you add to that the notion that we have had some sort of mismanagement of the Social Security system, and I'm not pointing fingers because I don't know who's to blame, but it's projected to go broke in 2 to 3 decades, maybe sooner. We thought we were going to have fun in our retirement. I don't know that we are. Okay, but let me continue here. Get the mouse to...
Tap the space bar.
What?
Hit the space bar or enter. It should move advance to the next slide. Space bar. On the keyboard, just tap the keyboard.
Oh, okay. There we go. Now, all of this is significant because the baby boomers are the largest generation that the country has ever known. And we've gone through our various phases of life like a big bulge of food goes through a snake. And when you think about the fact that you have that many people that you're going to need to provide for, even if one of us had stopped and looked at this 10 or 15 years ago, we might be better off today than we are. Because there are 10,000 baby boomers who turn 65 every day. Day after day after day after day after day. And I haven't done the math of what that turns out to be when you are looking at a full year, for example. But suffice it to say, it's not at all surprising that the baby boomers' greatest fear is that the money will be gone before we are. And because when Social Security was first passed and implemented, at that time, not baby boomers, I should say, retirees worked an average, at 65, they had an average of 3 to 5 years before they died. Today, we're looking at baby boomers who at least 1 in 4 is expected to live well into their 90s. That's a lot longer to pay out Social Security than it used to be. So, given the fact that this fear is so great, and I apologize for this graphic because the retirement places were supposed to be retirement jobs. But it should be no surprise to anybody here that baby boomers are looking at reduced personal assets, at a very uncertain future for Social Security, and they need to know what to do, and most of them are fearing things like a $10 an hour job part-time. The reason I say fearing is because $10 an hour isn't what most people are accustomed to at the end of their career. So those are the basic facts. And as I develop this presentation further, I will be adding more facts and more information. And this will be coupled with a handout on how to find jobs in retirement. There's a huge amount of information on that topic, which tells me that there's a huge interest in it. So I'm going to conclude. I don't really have a conclusion, I have to confess, because I'm not seeing this as anything other than it was or is, and that is the introduction to this topic. So that's what I have for you today, and I thank you for listening.
the rest of it? Is a positive spin on this too?
Oh, yeah, there are, but there's as many slides as I
No,
have.
I'm sorry, I feel bad now.
That's okay. I mean, see, I had one other slide that had one sentence on it that said, "Thank you for coming to the presentation and requesting our booklet or our special report." But I didn't take that and elaborate on it, so.
Thank you, Rosemary.
You got it.